Hello and welcome back to the Drone MBA podcast. I am your host, Dr. Heather Monthi. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the 10 different things that I like to do in really anything that I do, but specific to my drone business. These are the things that I like to do to set myself up for a year of success. So in this podcast, I try not to create a lot of episodes that are really tied to a specific time of the year. Some of you might be finding this podcast in the middle of July. So some of these things might not be necessarily relevant as we talk about things that you can do at the beginning of the year. So the way I want to structure this is these are things that you can do at the beginning of any sort of term for you or your business. So if you like to look at things from an annual standpoint, from a quarterly standpoint, or even a monthly standpoint, these are some of the things that you can do to set yourself up for some success. So these are some of the things that I like to do once a year, and then once a quarter, I like to come back and just revisit them. So I created a blog post, but I wanted to make this episode, put it up on the podcast, the YouTube channel, etc. So you can go to flyelectricmonarch.com and you can just search for a strategic approach to plan a drone business. We've got 10 different steps. Let's dive into what they are. So the first thing is to just do an overall yearly market analysis. So looking at where the drone industry is in your area of the world. What are some of the things that are happening around regulations? Is there any changes coming up in airspace? Are the technologies changing? For example, I do a lot of work with schools in teaching students how to write code for drones. And DJI just announced that they are no longer offering up the drone that often a lot of schools are using. So, we're taking a step back and saying, okay, what other opportunities or what other options do we have here? So that's part of the yearly market analysis, is looking at all of the different things. You're looking at the technologies that are available. Where are things going in business? Where are things going with your marketing strategies? And then where are things going around regulations, airspace, things that might apply to you based on where you live, and then maybe some things more at a federal level as well. So the first thing there is to do the yearly market analysis. The second is to set business goals. So if you're doing this once a year, you want to set your annual business goals, but then do a quarterly review of those goals. How are you progressing towards those goals? And then do you need to revise any of them? Have things changed? You can revise them as the year goes on. So you want to make sure to set your business goals, whether it's around a revenue amount. If you're running a business, you're in the business of making money, but maybe you have some other types of goals that you want to set as well, such as how many people do you want to reach via social media, or do you want to create an account on a new social media platform, or do you want to add a new strategy in your marketing plan? So set those business goals. Number 3 is financial review and budgeting. So you want to make sure, first of all, your outstanding invoices have been paid. You obviously want to do that every month, but as you close out for the year, getting things in order for your accountant or whomever does your taxes, you want to make sure that all of your accounts have been closed. You probably want to do that before the end of the year, but just double checking and making sure that everything has been paid and is accounted for, and making sure that you are tracking all of your operational expenses, anything that you've needed to spend for your business in the previous year. Make sure you're tracking that in some sort of software, even if it's just a spreadsheet, that you've got all of that information in one spot so that you can do your financial review for the year. But then what you also want to do is look at the business goals that you've set for the upcoming year and make sure that your financials can support those goals. You want to make sure that those two things are in alignment. Number 4 is to look at any sort of equipment and technology updates that you need. As we talked about the yearly market analysis, you want to look at where drone technology is going and then where the technology is going that you use to run your business operations. This is taking a look at it in a little bit more in depth of looking and researching where are some of the technologies going. Is there new technology coming out? Do you need to upgrade? Is there a reason to upgrade? Do you have to have upgrades for security updates? Things like that. So you want to make sure that you are staying on top of your equipment and technology. Training and certification. I always believe that, I'm an educator, so I always believe that continuous learning is important in any aspect in life, whether it is your health, your business, whatever it may be. You should be investing in some training. So if you've got your Part 107, that's awesome. Is there additional training that you can take to upgrade your skills in a particular piece of technology? Can you upgrade your skills in your digital marketing strategies? Can you upgrade your skills in, on the financial side of things? What are some of the things that you want to upgrade your skills in? And then see if you can research some of those training and additional certification opportunities that are available out there. Number 6 is to look at your marketing strategy. So again, going back to your business goals, your finances, what kind of marketing strategy are you going to need to be able to meet those business goals? So for example, I have a pretty lofty goal in my business to reach a certain amount of people via social media, okay? So part of my marketing strategy really needs to support reaching as many people as possible so that I can achieve that goal. So you want to make sure that you've got a marketing strategy in place to help you achieve your business goals, help you achieve those financial goals, and making sure that strategy supports the other goals that you have in your business. Customer engagement is always important. I think that, on an annual basis, you should be sitting down and revisiting how it is that you get feedback from your customer. You always want to make sure that you're getting feedback from them, whether it's in a formal way, whether it's in an informal way. Do you have a way for customers to submit surveys? You have one-on-one sessions with them to get some feedback. Whatever it is that you do to get that customer feedback, annually, you want to make sure that you've got some things in place. Maybe you need to change them. Maybe some things aren't working, but you want to make sure that you've got things in place to get that customer feedback. Operational efficiency is really important as you begin to grow your business and if you want to scale it. All right. And so what I mean by scaling your business is that you are no longer in the every single day-to-day piece of your business. Okay. That you could step away for an hour or a day or a week and take a vacation and your business is still going to run. Okay. So operational efficiency is important. So even if it's just you and you're doing absolutely everything, make sure that you start documenting all of those steps, all of those things that you do, so that when you are able to bring some other people in, you can figure out A, what don't you like doing that you can start outsourcing, and B, you can create some very easy training documentation for them so that they know exactly what they need to do up to your standards. So you want to make sure that you're looking at any sort of your daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annual tasks that you do. And if you don't have a standard operating procedure in place, at least start a Google document and start typing out as you're doing it, start typing out what those steps are. And then when you come back to do it the next time, you don't have to sit and think, okay, how did I do this? Where did I do that? Where's this document? I have to get this form, whatever. It's all in one place. So really starting to take a look at your operational efficiency from an annual standpoint. Number 9 is to look at any safety and compliance requirements. I set up Google Alerts that I get news sent to my email every single day. That's a really good way to stay up to date on some of the things that are changing, that are evolving in the drone industry. There are podcasts out there. There's this podcast. There's other podcasts that are out there that talk a lot about drone news, drone and UAS news. There's a lot of really good podcasts that are out there that are more on the newsworthy side of things. These are the things that happened this last week that you need to know for your drone business. So you want to make sure that you're staying up to date on any sort of safety and compliance requirements. Are regulations changing? Are there any important airspace changes that are happening that you need to know about? So I signed up for Google Alerts. You can listen to podcasts, register for webinars. If you're in the US, the FAA does a lot of different webinars with either, their employees, or they've got partners that they work with as well to offer up some free training for, anybody that's interested in attending those. There's different conferences, different things that you can attend either virtually or in person, making sure that you have some sort of strategy in place to help you make sure that you're staying up to date with regards to any sort of safety and compliance requirements. And then number 10 is thinking about your networking and partnerships with other businesses. So you want to identify who those businesses are that you want to start forming a relationship with. Do their products or services complement what it is that you're offering? And start reaching out and setting up and creating those partnerships, creating those relationships with them. So what I would do is I would just sit down and say, okay, here are the businesses that I really would like to start forming a partnership with this year. How can I do that? And in one way, it might be getting on LinkedIn and finding somebody to connect with and sending a message there and setting up a time to just do a quick chat with them. It might be meeting people at conferences. It might be meeting people at local meetups. There's a lot of different ways that you can, network and identify really good businesses to partner up with. The 10 different things that I do on an annual basis and then review them quarterly are a yearly market analysis, setting business goals, financial review and budgeting, equipment and technology update, training and certification, marketing strategy, customer engagement, operational efficiency, safety and compliance, and networking and partnerships. So those are the 10 things that you can start with. You might have some other ideas too of what you do on an annual basis to review your business. I'd love to hear what they are. You can join our Business Strategies for Drone Pilots Facebook group. Give me some feedback there. Just get on Facebook, search for Business Strategies for Drone Pilots, or you can go to facebook.com/groups/drone MBA, the name of this podcast, and give me some feedback there. What are some other things that you do for your business on an annual basis, even on a quarterly basis, to make sure that you have this strategic approach to growth, making sure that you're covering all of your expenses, that you're earning a profit, that you're still going to be in business a year from now. So let me know. Thanks for joining me in this episode of the Drone MBA podcast. I'll talk to you all next week.